Well, notice Beverly's shirt as she's walking back with Trace. Well, thank you all for being here today to join with thousands and thousands of Americans, not only around the United States, but around the world, to pay tribute and to honor those who have given their lives in the support of freedom. Because throughout the world, there are American cemeteries where thousands of Americans who fought and died and were buried very near the location where they did fight and where they did die. One of the jobs that I have in Congress, my primary job is chairman of the Appropriations Committee for National Defense, but I have the real honor of my second Appropriations Committee being Veterans Affairs. And I take that job really responsible. And we have some awfully interesting discussions with General Shinseki and the members of his staff to determine the needs of the VA, not so much the needs of the VA, but the needs of those veterans who are served by the VA. And you know, so many veterans here today. Some of you served by conscription, you were drafted. Others have served because you volunteered, but you all served. You all took the risks, you all made the sacrifices. And I think about those who march off to Iraq and to Afghanistan, a different type of war than many of you out there fought, but a difficult war at least. The deaths of over 6,000 in Iraq and Afghanistan is staggering. It is a sad commentary on what is happening in the world today. But you know, the world is in a bit of a turmoil today. We're seeing disruptions in countries. We're seeing countries ready to fall economically. We're seeing them in different kinds of political troubles. The United States has always been there to help. After World War II and the tremendous devastation of World War II, the United States, you, the taxpayers, you who stayed at home as part of family, you who paid the taxes, helped to rebuild much of the world that was damaged in World War II. And when there were other problems, we continue to help other countries as they have their problems. The United States is suffering a few setbacks ourselves these days. And it's important that we pay attention to ourselves. Because you know what? Where we came to the aid of most nations in the world, if we get in real trouble, there's nobody out there that has the ability or the determination to help us. And so we've got to make sure that America remains strong, and part of that strength is remembering those who have made the sacrifices so that we can be free, so that we can have the ability to work if we please, to work at whatever type of job we would like to work at, but work. If we're able to work, we should, and we should contribute to the nation and make it strong. But the spirit that goes with that work, the spirit of Memorial Day, is something that we have got to maintain. We can't let it fade away into the future. We cannot let it evolve into something other than what it really is, and that is a day to remember those who have made it possible for us to live the kind of life that we have. And one of my sons, when we were making preparations for one of our visits to Bay Pines many, many years ago at a Memorial Day service, he said, you know, Dad, I've been thinking about this, and I think what you should tell the folks there today, that in their hearts, every day should be Memorial Day. And he is so right on. And it's important It's important that we keep and maintain that spirit that goes with Memorial Day today, tomorrow, and into the future. And as we see these young folks that are here today and young folks lining up to serve in our military on a voluntary basis, we know that America will remain strong. There are two good-looking Marines out there in the audience today dressed in their uniforms. I'd like for them to stand up. These two, I'm talking about David and Jake, and I can't see them. Beverly, are they standing? Okay. These are two members of my staff here in the district, and their job is to take care of any problem that any veteran has if there is a problem that they need help. And believe me, most of you out there know that from time to time, you do need a little bit of help. David Macon spent 22 years in the Marine Corps, and standing next to him is Jake Gauthier. Jake is a twin brother. His twin brother is Max. They were both snipers in Afghanistan. And before that, they were both members of the Clearwater Junior ROTC drill team who performed in many, many places. Jake's brother lost his leg from one of those terrible, terrible IEDs, and Jake was hit with shrapnel. You'll notice on his ribbons he's wearing a big Purple Heart and a lot of other ribbons. Anyway, you all can sit down now. Thank you for standing. I told them they didn't have to wear their uniforms today, but I thought it would really be a nice touch if they did. And so after we started in Iraq, we began, when I say we, Beverly and I, and Beverly more than me, visiting the hospitals at Walter Reed and Bethesda to just visit with our wounded warriors to see if there was anything that we could help them with emotionally or help them with their families, because back then in the early days, didn't have a lot of help. There weren't a lot of foundations. There are today, but back then there were no foundations actually. So Beverly became a one-woman foundation and a one-woman USO. But the reason I bring that up, one of the first soldiers that we met, he was hurt pretty bad, and he said, "Mrs. Young, I want to ask you something." He said, "I remember how our Vietnam veterans were treated when they returned home, and it was not very nice." And he said, "Are we going to be treated the same way?" And she said, "Soldier, if I have anything to do with it, you will be treated with great respect and great honor. And I will tell you that the people of America have held her to her word, because the people of America have treated our soldiers from Iraq and Afghanistan really well." Anyway, that's when she started wearing that shirt. And that shirt is, some of you know the story about that, but one evening the president was making a State of the Union speech, and Beverly wore that shirt, well, not that exact same one, because it was winter, but it had the same message. It was like a sweatshirt. It had the same message: support the troops, defending our freedom. And all of a sudden, she was dragged out of the gallery in the House of Representatives chamber and said she was a protester. She said, "You got to be kidding." Well, we had quite a tussle. CNN interviewed her, Fox News interviewed her, CBS interviewed her, and it went internationally, and a captain in Iraq sent us a message and said, "If you will send that shirt, I will have all of the members of my company sign it and send it back to you." Beverly said, "Should I send it?" I said, "Absolutely, send it." She said, "I may never get it back." I said, "So what? If they want your shirt, they should have it." Well, they sent it back with all of the signatures. And the news media made a little to-do about it. And there's a museum, a brand new museum in Washington, D.C., And in that museum, they have a freedom of speech section to honor the First Amendment to our Constitution. Well, they asked if they could have her shirt for a year to put it on display. So we agreed to that. They now are in the 7th year, and every year they keep asking for that shirt back because they get so many visitors. So if you see her at the grocery store, or you see her at church, or see wherever you might see her, don't be surprised if she's not dressed in what you would expect a congressional wife to be wearing. She's wearing that shirt because she is committed to making sure that our troops are honored, that all of our troops are honored. Because you know something, without you who serve today, without you who have served and are veterans today, or without you who will serve in the future, this great country of ours would be in serious trouble. We have got to maintain that strength. And we have got to maintain strength through the spirit of Memorial Day. So commit with me, the commitment that I've made, that I'm going to do everything possible to keep the spirit of Memorial Day alive. And just briefly now, I want to tell you about how I learned about Memorial Day. I grew up in a little town, and on Memorial Day, we called it Decoration Day back then. You'll remember Decoration Day. And the fire trucks would come out and parade, the police cars, if we had police cars in the small towns. They would parade. And I remember as a young kid, and with a lot of young kids, racing behind the fire trucks, going to the cemeteries to carry flowers to decorate the graves. That was Decoration Day. Well, they changed it to Memorial Day, which is fine, but I remember Decoration Day. And today we didn't all bring flowers to adorn all of these graves here. But if you look out there, you see the thousands of American flags who were placed out there individually, one by the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts of America, who also love this country. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for making it possible for us to live in freedom without fear of an aggressor. The only problems that we might have are internally, and we can fix those. We can get rid of the arguments, come together, and fix the problems. America will remain the strongest nation in the world, and by no doubt, the greatest place to live, to work, to go to school, and just to enjoy a safe, sound life. Thank you all for letting me be here today. God bless you all, and God bless our great country.
Thank you, Congressman. Again, please welcome Ms. Erica DeSegni for another musical performance. When the performance starts, Congressman Young and Ms. Klinker, accompanied by our Gold Star mothers, will place a wreath of remembrance on the monument. I'd like for everyone to remain at the monument after the wreath is presented for the remainder of the program. Please enjoy the performance.
Tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children as a wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.